ladies and gentlemen, I'm Paul Knowles. I just want you to know that we're having this nice fundraiser tonight for Mr. Jesse Jackson, and we're going to be able to have a bunch of beautiful musicians. We have Billy Larkin, Ralph Black. Ladies and gentlemen, we have everything going. We just want you to know that we are going to have fun tonight. So why don't we get it on the ball, get things rolling. Mr. Lloyd Jones, Ralph Black, beautiful musicians. So let's get things going. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it.
It's nice to see you tonight.
Thank you.
Bev, you've been probably active in the Rainbow Coalition longer than any other citizen in Portland. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I'm one of a number of people who started out with the Rainbow Coalition when Jesse Jackson started to run in 1983, the end of 1983. And we were attracted to his vision of not only running for president, but building a Rainbow Coalition. And so we started doing that. And the Rainbow Coalition actually met continuously and has met since 1983. And here we are again running Jackson's campaign, and it's amazing what progress we've made.
Well, what does the Jackson campaign, do you think, means to you or to the people of the country?
Well, what I think it means is that Jackson is actually willing to talk about the big solutions. He looks at the whole picture and doesn't come up with just a little piece of it, but he has the capability of seeing that the kind of changes we need to make are fairly large, but he has a way of articulating it so people understand that these changes will make their lives better. And I think it's a wonderful vision. The other part that attracts me to the Jackson campaign is the concept of building a Rainbow Coalition, not just a person running. That's not going to make the kind of changes. The only way we're going to get the changes that will really change people's lives is if we have a movement of people, of different color people, different ages, different sexes, all kinds of people coming together. Then we can make the kind of changes that Jackson proposes.
But Bev, now, I know what your dream is. How do you feel is that being achieved now? Knowing that it's so hard in these days of the media and one person in television, do you think there is an institutionalization of this Rainbow Coalition that's being achieved in this campaign?
Well, in different parts of the country, it's happening unevenly. In Oregon, actually, we've had one of the more successful Rainbow Coalitions in the country, and Jesse Jackson knows that, and I think that's one of the reasons he will be here, is that we have been successful in building a Rainbow Coalition. It's long, hard work, and it's not over, but this campaign will take us another leap forward, and hopefully it won't be as hard between campaigns as it was between the last two campaigns.
Do you have any information for us that he might be coming to Oregon sometime in May?
I understand that he'll be here May 10th, 11th, and 12th, and that he will be going around the state, and that's something we urged him to do when he was here before, but he didn't have enough time. But we believe there are people out there in LeGrand and in Ashland and Eugene who will respond to his message.
Bev, tell us a little bit about your campaign, because I know you're a candidate for the state legislature. Tell us about that. What district are you in?
Well, I'm running for state representative in District 14. One of the things that Jesse Jackson said is that we need to have local candidates running on his vision. And I see myself as a local candidate expressing the same kinds of policies and beliefs that Jesse Jackson is explaining on the national level. And I'm a Democrat, and I'm running in the Democratic primary.
Well, I don't think anyone would doubt that you're not a Jesse Jackson Rainbow Coalition Democrat, since you've been at it perhaps longer than anybody else in the state. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bev.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get things cooking now, I tell you. Sit back and relax. Before we get going here, I just want to say this young man on drums, I guess he was about 16 years old when he started working for me, and that was a few years ago, but that's Ronnie Steen right there, and he's one of the baddest around. He used to come over to the Cotton Club and watch all the musicians play, and it must have rubbed off because he's there. Okay. Mr. Arnold Petrie coming out here on flute. How about Arnold Petrie there?
What is your participation in the Jesse Jackson campaign?
Well, I'm Jesse's chairperson over in Washington, Vancouver. I'm sorry about that. In Vancouver, and we run his campaign over in Vancouver, Washington. And we came in second in Clark County, right on the caucuses behind. We did very well over there.
Yeah, we all noticed that. We were so pleased, and I was frankly surprised because I hadn't heard what was happening in Washington. Tell me, what does Jesse Jackson's campaign mean to you personally?
It means a lot to me. One reason is because I was in the civil rights movement with Jesse Jackson. And I was arrested and put in jail when I was 14 years old, and that's where I met the man. And the other night after he won, I said, it's like an end of a journey to me. We finally made it. Democracy means what it means, and
Is there any particular issue that that concerns you?
Yes, the homeless. The homeless. I think it's a travesty for American people to be homeless when this is one of the greatest nations in the world.
Can you think of anything else you'd like to say, Julia?
Win Oregon, Jesse, because you've got Washington. We're going to take Paul Simon's delegates. They already told me they're coming over to Jesse Jackson, so we're going to take Washington. All you good people got to do over here is win Oregon, please. All right.
So we want to get together and a big round of applause. Mr. Norman Sylvester.
Thank you.
Let your hat on, baby. Let's have a natural ball. Let your hat on, baby. Let's have a natural ball. Don't let your hat on, mama. We can't have no fun at all. Well, you can't take it with you. That's one thing for sure. No, you can't take it with you. That's one thing for sure. There ain't nothing in the world a T-bone Jeffer won't do.
participation in the Jesse Jackson campaign? Well, I'm a labor leader for the GCIU, which is the Graphic Communications International Union, which used to be the old printing pressmen. And I got involved with the Jesse Jackson campaign like most people here. Jackson's the people's choice. And we thought tonight we'd try to help put together with labor and the Oregon campaign a benefit for Jackson that we could start raising money from grassroots, as labor's been doing for a long time, raising grassroots issues among the shop floor. Now we thought it's time we better start raising it in the public sector. Yeah, and are there any particular labor issues that you'd like, that concern you, that cause you to favor Jesse Jackson? Well, Jesse has written a whole policy on workers' rights, and I can't say them off the top of my head, but they're the usual rights that people need to be recognized, to be able to have, a person should be able to work a certain number of hours in a day and be able to have time off to go to his family, that they're not working for the company totally. They have something outside that they should be able to enjoy. Do you think Jesse Jackson's message is getting across with the white members of the union? Can you speak to that? Well, I'm a white man, and I think that speaks a lot to it. And I think all across this nation, labor is already saying its voices and coming out for it. Teamsters who voted for Reagan last time are now talking about dual sponsorship, and Jackson's one of the major names in their sponsorship talk. Oh, you have any comments? You know, the media right after the Super Tuesday, they've talked about this and that, and they've sort of indicated that, well, Jesse Jackson probably would neither be president nor vice president no matter what he does. Do you have any feelings about that? Yeah, I have a lot of feelings about that. At first, when Jackson was coming in fourth, they'd always say, no, 1, 2, 3, Simon's in third. And then all of a sudden, you know, Simon, that was a big thing to even say Simon was in third place. Then Jackson took third, then he took second, and really he's number one because he's got the popular vote. And the media is refusing to recognize him. But the media is not the people, we're the people. Hey, thanks for your comments here tonight. You're great, Dan. Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. How you all doing? We're going to play you African music. Oh, Play two more, then we're going to say bye. And we love you all. And we give a good luck to Jesse Jackson to win. So we're going to play two more, then we say bye.
right now. Bob Boyer, we're in his district. Bob Boyer has been the district leader for the Democrats in Northeast Portland, and I think he's moving on to bigger things. What are you doing now in regards to the Jesse Jackson campaign, Bob Boyer?
Well, Wally, I'm the state chairman for labor for the state of Oregon for the Jesse Jackson campaign. And my major function is to get Jesse's message out to all labor union people and non-union people and working people in the state of Oregon.
And I see you have an ILWU button on, is that right?
Yes. Well, I'm also the past vice president of the Columbia River District Council of International Longshoremen and Warehousing Union.
And is the ILWU now back in the fold of the FL-CIO? I've heard things about that.
Well, we've been having some very constructive conversations. As of yet, it has not become official.
But we're here tonight for Jesse Jackson. We want to know, Mr. Boyer, what does Jesse Jackson's campaign mean to you personally?
To me, it means leadership. Especially as a labor person, it means stop taking our jobs out of this country and importing drugs. Personally, that's very dear to my heart, and I will work every hour I possibly can in his behalf.
Well, that's a lot, I know, Bob, because back when you were district leader right here in Northeast Portland, we never had it so organized as when you were doing it.
Thank you.
Is there any particular labor issues that really concern you? Like any particular labor law that you'd like to see passed that Jesse might be supporting or not?
Well, the major impact is losing people's jobs. All the campaigns of the 80s, different candidates have stated the only issue is jobs, jobs, jobs. Jesse's campaign, Jesse's message, it has a specific formula to stop exporting our jobs. When jobs are exported, families break up, homes break up, communities break up. And we here in the Northwest understands that very, very clearly.
Bob, when you see on television, and you know, right after this Super Tuesday, they're talking about the 4 leading Democratic candidates, and they all seem to think that, well, Jesse can't be the president or the vice presidential candidate, but that he's going to ask for something at the convention. Can you articulate your feelings about what you've seen on the media in that regard?
First of all, whenever there's a race, you can only participate in that race if you get in it. You can only win if you compete. There has never been a race won by someone sitting on the sidelines. If Jesse cannot win, is what some of the people are saying, they ought to tell the voters because they're voting for him.
Okay, hey, thanks a million, Bob, for talking to us tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Wally.
Fabulous fundraiser in Northeast Portland.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. Bye.
We're going to keep the groove cooking right up. We're going to ask a beautiful brother of mine, Brother Spenny White, to come up and do this next tune. We call it Down Home Blues. But you know what's going through my mind, and through your mind, and I can talk about. Kick off these shoes, babe. And while you're mixing me a thing, well, lay me something down on me. I'm not the kind of guy who goes out on the town. No, I'm not the kind of fella who's running all around. You know what I say? Try to keep my cool.
Cadet Smith, you are the former state president of the Oregon Public Employees Union?
Right. Yes, I was president from 85 through 87.
And tell me, just before we started, you said something about reading the Jackson Statement on Labor or something. What was that?
I said I just had finished reading his his position paper on women, equal rights for women and justice, and I was very impressed with it. And I guess it sort of really solidifies why I think that women really should be supporting Jackson in this race also. He's probably the only candidate that I have seen actually put out in writing what he believes in equal rights, and what I especially liked is the fact that he's not just talking equal civil rights for women, he's talking equal economic rights for women. And I think that is a very significant thing. As he points out, women do make up a very large portion of the workforce. But unfortunately, most women work in lower wage-paying jobs. And this is very, frankly, a lot of it is very discriminatory because they do not have the ability to get into the higher-paying jobs. I just read this article in today's paper that really backs up his statement.
So does he come out and endorse comparable worth, actually, in his statement?
Yes, he does. He believes very strongly that women should get equal pay for equal work. And he is very strongly in favor of the Equal Rights Amendment. And, of course, he is a pro-choice.
Yeah, have you any sentiment as to how his campaign is being, how he's reaching the Public Employees Union members? Is he supported, or is his message yet to be heard in the Public Employees Union?
I think he has a lot of support in Public Employees Union. Although we have not done any endorsements per se, and I think very few unions have done endorsements. But I think public employees perceive Jackson as a candidate who thoroughly understands the issues of government work. In one of his issue papers, he talks about the need to maintain the infrastructure of government. And, of course, that's what we are involved in. So my sense is that he very much understands the need for government, the need for government employees, and, of course, in that respect, then we would have to support him.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. And here, this is Kay Katevit Smith, past president of the State Oregon Public Employees Union.
Thank you. On the news, I was pretty heartened by hearing how Jesse Jackson was doing. And I was real encouraged by that. But the most amazing thing this week was talking to my folks on the telephone on Sunday. And my father had voted for Ronald Reagan not once, but twice. And he voted in the Massachusetts primary for Jesse Jackson. Now, I couldn't believe it, but I think he feels that the Republicans have finally deserted him, as I've been warning him all these years. So that was the best news I heard this week. And here's a tune that was written by an apple farmer from upstate New York by the name of Les Rice. Traveled round this country from shore to shining shore, and it really made me wonder the things I heard and saw. I saw the weary farmer plowing soil and loam, and I heard the auction hammer knocking down his home. But the banks are made of marble with a guard at every door, and the vaults are stuffed with silver that the farmer sweated for. I've seen the sailors standing idly by the the shore. And I heard his bosses saying, got no work for you no more. But the banks are made of marble with a guard at every door. And the vaults are stuffed with silver. That's the sailors, that's what it's for.
Here with John Callahan. John, you were a candidate for Congress some time ago. When was that?
1970.
And you're still Lewis and Clark, are you?
That's correct, yes.
You're a doctor of something, I take it.
Doctor of philosophy, they say.
I see. Tell us, John.
I won't tell you about your medical history. I'm not that kind of doctor.
John, tell us, what does the Jackson candidacy mean to you? What do you think it means to the people?
Reminds me of what Frederick Douglass said about Lincoln's second inaugural. It's a sacred effort. I think the campaign's attempt to move the country in the direction that the country's needed to move for more than 20 years. There's a commitment to peace, an attempt to put America behind some of the efforts for liberation in other countries, South Africa and other places, attempt to reorder domestic priorities in this country, do something for poor people, deal with the excess power of corporations, involve new people in the process, young people, students.
It's all right. Cause I got a woman away from town, good to me. Oh yeah, said I got a woman away from town, good to me. Oh yeah, she's my baby, won't you understand? I'm a loving man. You got a woman way across town. She's good to me. But yeah, she's out loving early in the morning just for me. Says her lover early in the morning time, just for me. Oh, my, there's a love just for me, yeah. I'm the man she needs. She got a woman across town. She's good to me. Well, yeah. She's giving her loving both day and night. Never grumbling and fussing. Always treats her right. Never running the streets, you know. Leaving me alone. She knows the woman place right there now, again. Oh, I got a woman way across town. She's good to me. Oh, yeah. Said I got a woman right here in Portland. She's all right. Won't you understand? I said, I'm a loving man. Peter got a woman way across town. She's good to me.
Well, we're here tonight with Ron Herndon, and he really doesn't need any introduction. Ron, you've been at this for a number of years. Back in the school board days when you represented the black community and desegregation and all that. Tell us, what do you think about the Jesse Jackson campaign?
Well, I think Jesse is the first person probably in the last 70 years that has really united
united people from a broad cross-section of this country. He's brought together farmers, workers, unemployed, welfare mothers, people in the middle class who are dissatisfied with this country, black, white, peace activists, environmentalists. He has created a kind of coalition a lot of people have talked about. So for me, it really is an honor to be a part of this movement.
Is there any particular issue or several issues that you might want to mention that you think Jesse Jackson really articulates that are very important to you or to people here in the country?
Well, I think this whole issue of economic justice, saying that people in this country deserve the opportunity to have a decent job and to have a decent job that pays a decent wage, and that all of us have a right to live in a drug-free society, and that as a country we need to do a much better job of taking care of our children and making life in this country possible for children to want to grow up in this country and the kind of life that we would be proud to leave to our children. So I think those are the issues, at least to me, are the essence of Jesse's campaign.
And as you've heard the comments, Super Tuesday's just been earlier this week, and you've heard the comments made about the deals, and if anyone can articulate the feelings of a person when we hear the media talk about the Jesse campaign and what kind of a deal he'll make or what does he want or what are the Democrats going to do with him, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, again, I think the media has been very, very slanted in its relationship with Jesse. Given the fact that he got more popular votes than anybody else, why would they not say that Gore is going to try to make a deal? Why would they say Gephardt is trying to make a deal? Why must it be always Jesse that they assume will have to go into the convention and make a deal? But again, I think it's because the uneven treatment the media has typically given Jesse.
Thanks for talking with us,
My
Ron.
pleasure, Wally. And we all appreciate everything that you've done over the years to help this city and to help this community. We haven't forgotten that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much. That's Ron Herndon at the Jesse Jackson fundraising campaign here in Northeast Portland.
Looking so good. She got the kind of love made lose my mind. I'm gonna tell you something, let them go tonight. Baby, looking good, looking so good. Looking good, yo. I waited to call my name. I went to home with Mr. Sweet. Got the kind of love see you in the devil suit. Baby, looking good. You know it's all good. Looking good, yo. Mama, get the phone, yo. I'm saying, Papa, your boy. I wanna see you all. Look out, I might see your son. Baby, looking good. You know it's all good. Looking good, y'all. Let's do it, you. Oh, for your home. I'll let you wear the desert tight. She got the box of furs, baby. When you step out late at night, baby, looking cool. You know it's all good. You looking good, yo. And like I knew you would.
We're here with Bob Williams, and he's with the United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 555. Tell us, that's the retail clerks formerly?
meat cutters. Don't leave out those meat cutters.
The meat cutters are good on union affairs, I think, aren't they?
Oh, they really are. They know most of they are the ones that know most of the things about their contract. They're very up to date on things, and that's basically because they don't turn over as fast as grocery clerks and the other entities that we represent.
Well, what do you think about the Jackson campaign, Bob?
The Jackson campaign, as they say, is up and rolling.
Is he supported pretty well amongst your rank and file, or is that message yet to be heard amongst the membership?
I think it's yet to be heard, but we're going to get the message out to them right away. It's not a tomorrow ordeal. It started today.
What will your union be making endorsements about the candidates?
Our union will be making endorsements. As of yet, we have not made an endorsement. We have people in our union that are also on the other candidates campaign, and eventually we will be making an endorsement around the same time as the AFL-CIO.
Now, tell me, Mr. Williams, you are part of the AFL-CIO, is that right, or are you a separate union?
No, we are a part of the AFL-CIO.
So your endorsement would be with theirs. You wouldn't deviate from their endorsement. Is that right?
I don't think we would.
Yeah. But tell me about the Jackson campaign and what the issues that he speaks to are particularly important to you. Do you have any maybe one issue that is something that he says or represents that's important to you personally?
Well, one of the things that he says that is important, particularly to me, is that we're all under the same auspices as far as jobs, as far as dignity, and everything else that is concerned. We are universal people now. It's not black, white, Oriental, Mexican. It's a universal ordeal right now, and we have to realize that the thing about it is job. And it doesn't matter what color you are. Ron Reagan showed us that. It doesn't matter what color you are as far as whether or not you have. It's the haves against the have-nots. And what the have-nots have to realize is that they want us to deal with it as far as color is concerned, and the haves continue to stay on top. So we have to get together, and we have to let the haves know that, hey, we are here. We have the vote. You have the money. And I've never yet seen the money do a vote.
Thank you, Bob Williams, and you're a business agent for Local 555, the United Food and Commercial Workers. Is that right, Bob?
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.